Hey guys, so welcome to another video. I am on my way to replace the speaker pods in the Jeep. Now I know there are a few videos out there already that shows you how to replace these, and I've seen quite a few detailed ones out there, but in mine I'm going to do something a little bit extra. I am going to be changing my speedometer background. US Speedos has a cover that you can put on the back that you can change the back faces with, but here in the UAE we run on kilometers per hour, and I am going to see if I can change the kilometers an hour one, well, the miles per hour one from my US Jeep over to a kilometers per hour one. Now I already have a kilometers per hour fascia that I got from a friend from a Jeep Wrangler Sport. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my dash and then see if I can replace that faceplate in the back of it. So I'm going to take you on the trip with me. I am going to remove the dash and then go through the steps with you up in the house in my little garage space of how I replace the background of this speedometer. I'm not going to show you how I replace the speaker pods because that's going to take forever, but there are some good videos out there for that. So if you want to see how I change from miles to kilometers per hour, stick around to this. Hopefully this will help you as well. Hopefully this angle, the camera doesn't fall off off of the hook on the back. So start with removing your HVAC unit. Mine has been out quite a few times, so it's easy. Next part will probably be to remove the radio and everything else in here as well. Oh goodness. Okay, so first things first is I remove the battery. I didn't do that previously, so I'm going to remove the radio, remove the top panels, and then see what we can do from there. The screw here that takes the radio out is a 7mm screw or a Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, that one's off. Next up, remove the radio, the head unit itself, I don't think I have to remove the head unit for what I want to do. I think I actually only need to remove this little screw at the top here so that I can remove the top of the dash. So now that the dash is technically loose, I can pull this forward towards me. Be careful, don't pull it upwards. The clips in there are supposed to come towards you, not upwards or any other direction. I'll just remove my little L wire for the most of it. This did look a lot easier when other people did it. I'm just going to use a panel tool, plastic panel tool, because I don't want to scratch my panels. Just going to use this one. So glad you guys cannot see my face. Apparently the clips in the corners are notoriously tough to get out. So just make sure that you get all of them out of the way as well. And the one in the corner did not come out. So first one that did play along. I'm gonna jump over to the other side. Okay, so you can see all the sand in here. Let's get this out. Oh, this one also didn't come out. But if you look along, almost all of these metal clips did come out. There's 2 metal clips on that side that did not play along. So I'll just use needle nose pliers to get them out of the way. But now this thing is out. I can move it to the back. Now I can take out my cluster over in the front there. Some of the other guys made that look a lot easier than it actually was. Okay, so on top of the dash here, there are a few more of these 7mm screws. I'm just going to use my screwdriver to take them out, and then later on I will use needle nose pliers to take these metal parts out. But it looks like my dash has been apart before, because there's no plastic clips on the corners of this thing. Just gonna put that on the side as well. Okay, so the battery is disconnected, so I can remove this dash panel. It is held in place by some clips. And it might feel scary to remove that the first time, but I was told it's okay. It's supposed to feel like that. So all of the orange clips did come off. Oh, and I don't need a needle nose plier to remove these metal clips anymore. I can just take them off and put them back on this panel. But this panel has been severely deformed as well over time. So, I don't know. Doesn't look like I broke it, but it does look like it has been broken before. Okay, all my metal clips are back, but as you can see on the tips, there are no more blue clips that are supposed to be there. So I'm guessing the guy who imported the car from America didn't see the use of replacing those when he replaced something on the dash. Yeah. Now you can actually see how badly they cleaned the car. Okay, next up, on the bottom of the steering, on the dash itself, there are some bolts at the top right and left corners. I'll be removing those. But I think there are actually more at the bottom as well that I have not gotten to yet. So yeah, in the bottom at this panel, this plastic panel, there are also some screws, so I will have to take off all of this plastic. Okay, let me show you. At the back there, you can see that there are 2 screws as well that keeps the whole dash apart, and this is the part that I will be replacing. That's not working, so let's find the Phillips head screwdriver bit that I have, just because my fingers are too short to go where they should. I'm just removing the bottom kick panel as well, just for easier access. I think for my disassembly later, when I want to change my speakers, taking these off will definitely benefit as well. Okay, so there the whole piece of plastic is loose. Now I can just do this. Okay, so 4 screws. Dashboard has 1 wiring loom on the back of it that you need to loosen and remove. Let me show you. So on the back here, there is 1 wiring loom that is connected to the dash. That wiring loom now needs to be removed. So that might not be as easy or as fun as I thought. Once again, I'm going to use a panel tool. That's easy. Just wedged it into the plastic, and there. That's a lot of sand. So yeah, I am going to take this upstairs, take the dash apart, and then put the plastic back onto the back of the speedometer. Yeah. So I'll show you guys the rest of that upstairs, and then I'll show you how I put everything back together. I'm gonna cut out here because I'm going to loosen up everything else for the speaker pods as well, because this was the main exercise that I wanted to do now. So yeah, when I put everything back together, I will get you guys back on the video. Cheers. Okay guys, so we are going from miles per hour to kilometers per hour. Hopefully this works. I have already followed a few videos on taking the one that I want to use, that I actually want to use afterwards, taking that one apart. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this glass off, make it look nice after I fix this. So how do we open this unit? We turn it over, and on the back of it we have a bunch of really small Torx bits, T8s. Just on the outside there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and we can just remove those. So we loosen these up. I actually practiced on the kilometers per hour one before I did this video, because I didn't want to look like a complete moron when I messed something up, but saying that, I probably still will mess something up. So there are 6 of these little silver screws around the dash that you need to remove. 6 of them just around the edge. Okay, and then when you're done with that, there will be these little clips that will technically be holding the dash front onto the back, and you just want to loosen them up with your fingers as well, so that you can get the back side off of the front, and then you have your 2 separate pieces. Now I'm not gonna, well, I'm keeping this, but it's different. Well, it looks a little bit different than the one that I am putting in. So next thing that you will do is you are going to mark your absolute minimum where your speedometer is gonna go. I'm going to use a Sharpie just to mark exactly where that needle will be pointing, so that afterwards I can make sure that it's pointing in the exact same direction as well. I'm gonna remove this one, and I already actually took the glue off of this, and it looks very similar. Yeah, it looks actually pretty similar. And now I actually forgot my panel removal tool downstairs. And by the power of movie editing, that was an instant. I went down to the car and fetched this panel removal tool. So what you're going to do this twice is you are going to remove the needle from your dash panel. I have the removed one here somewhere. So yeah, you're gonna mark where it goes exactly, and then gently lift it off of the dash. Oops. Okay, so that one is off. Need to keep that one for where I'm gonna put it, and then basically just remove this centerpiece. There's a bit of glue on the back of it, and then I'm gonna take the new one and put it back in place. Now basically, before you're going to get to this part, you are going to remove the dial from the first one and then from the second one to put everything back together. This thing is filthy, so I'm just going to grab a tissue and wipe this off. Okay, that's it, and that is pretty much how you replace that. As you put this back together, you're gonna turn this anti-clockwise until it is back in where it should be. And if you go past that point where it should be, just go slowly again. And then hopefully it'll get back to where it should be. This one honestly now just does not want to go where it should be. There. Lined up nicely. Just gonna try one more time to get it even closer to where it should be. There we go. Cool. Perfect. And now that we have done that, we can replace our standard, well, with a digital dash. This one is the one that came out of the Sport. You can see on the inside it has those little bars that goes around the petrol and the heat gauge, which mine does not have because I have the digital gauges in the middle. So I'm gonna pop this back into place. Bob is your uncle, Pop is your auntie, and there we go. Now we just need to get this one nice and clean before I can put it back, because I don't know what the guys at the cleaners did with it, but clearly they did not clean this. Okay, so now that everything's put together, I went from miles per hour to kilometers per hour. Yay! Hopefully the speedometer actually matches up, or else all of that was for nothing. It does look a little bit different. Mine actually said brake. This one has the handbrake sign, so let's just keep that for another day as well, just to make sure we keep that, because you know I like to keep my stuff so that I can go back to stock if I really wanted to. Okay, that one is done, the old one, and now I'm just going to put these screws back where they belong. Screw it all out. Now, from what I checked, they are exactly in the same positions, the starting point and the ending point of the speedometer. The miles per hour goes from 0 to 120, and the kilometers per hour one goes up to 200, and it stops and starts and stops at exactly the same place. So hopefully that'll be good enough when I put all of this back together. Oh, this is ready to be put back in. Okay, so I've pretty much put the speakers back in place. So what I'm going to do now is just put the dash back in, and then we should be good to go, and then I can put all the wires back in place where they should be as well. So remember to plug your speedometer back into place and then put it back in place. If I remember correctly, I put all the screws for the front up here. 4 screws to hold the dash in its place. Oh, that one fell in the sand. Just quickly entering them with my fingers, and then I'll use the ratchet to put them back into place. Okay, so now these screws are back in place. All of these 7mm that was in here. I'm not going to put everything back in yet because I first need to change the speaker on the other side of the car. So these are now back in place. I can actually put this whole part of the dash, the bottom part and everything back together, and then I can worry about the other side. There we go. Those are back in place. I have a bunch of screws laying around because I did not check where they go. So, what's that saying? If you put it all back together again and it's still outside, probably didn't need it in the first place. I'm hoping that's not the case. Putting everything back together now, and then I'll pop over to the other side to put the speaker back in, and then when I've put everything back together, we'll do a test drive and see if the speedometer actually matches up. Okay, so as you can see, it's the next day. I actually took the Jeep out for a test drive yesterday, and then I actually couldn't see any of the footage on the screen. So what I'm hoping to do today is quickly take a test drive, show you guys that the speedometer is matching up mostly. When I drive at higher speeds, it does not match up, so that kind of sucks a little bit. But as you can see, I do have the kilometers in there now, and I also have, well, there's a big fat 0 at the top there because I'm not driving yet. So let's get rolling. So you can see that the needle is picking up well, and it is kind of in the same area as the digital gauge there in the middle. I have calibrated my speedometer so that it matches exactly what my well, the kilometer is out with 1 kilometer an hour, so it is pretty close to where it actually should be. Let me close the windows, switch on the AC again, and then put on some cruise control. So then you will actually see that the 40 and the 40 matches with each other. So that's good. I mean, up to 40, that works. Okay, so you'll see now that well, 60 is actually 60. And it's pretty close, and in this way I can actually know that if somebody else drives my car and they look at that speedometer, they will be safely under the speed limit. I am going to quickly put this on cruise control up to 100 and then see if it matches or doesn't. So that's 100 on the cruise control. And as you can see, the needle goes slightly over the 100 mark. I'm not that concerned with it because it's a safety parameter. So if it touches the 100, it's good for me. It goes 100 on the middle, and it goes a little bit over 100 on here. But if I bring my speed down, my needle will go down to 100 as well. So I'm guessing if I put my car at 98, 97, it'll probably be at the position where it should be. Okay, so that was me test driving the new speedometer in the Jeep. I hope this isn't too dark. Looks too dark. So yeah, this is how I converted my American US spec Jeep to kilometers per hour. Went from miles per hour down to kilometers per hour in the speedometer. So hopefully now, well, now it looks nicer for me. I don't think it does anything to, well, it does nothing for the performance, but it definitely does something for the cosmetics and having me look at what to look at. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you did like the video, please leave a like. If you want to see more things, what I get up to with the Jeep 3D printing and parts that I switch out, please subscribe, and then you will see more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.